It's hard to imagine a modern battlefield without helicopters. Lightning-quick vehicles capable of blotting out the sun with a hail of rockets, or of destroying the most well-protected tanks with a single powerful ATGM. Today, we're going to speak about one of the most iconic helicopter series of all time, Flying Tank, Crocodile, or in English, Crocodile, Drinking Glass. All of that is the extremely versatile Soviet Mi-24 attack helicopter. During the 1960s, the Soviets were closely monitoring the events unfolding in Vietnam, and the use of helicopters by the US Army during the Vietnam War clearly showed the advantages of helicopters performing ground support and infantry transport missions. There was a helicopter filling that role in the Soviet roster, the Mi-4, but by that point it was terribly outdated. Then, one of the most prominent aerospace engineers of that time, Mikhail Leontievich Mil, proposed a design for a high-speed, heavily armed helicopter with transport capability. Basically, a flying infantry fighting vehicle. The work on the new design began in 1968, and as early as in 1971, the Soviet military received their first ever production vehicle of this class, the Mi-24A. It had a single rotor layout with a 5-blade main rotor. The pilot and the weapon station operator were seated in an angular greenhouse-style cockpit. The helicopter also had a central infantry compartment that could hold 8 troops sitting back to back, making the vehicle relatively large. For example, it was noticeably bigger and also 3 tons heavier than the American Cobra or the Iroquois. This, of course, somewhat limited its maneuverability, but the Mi-24 was still surprisingly fast. 2 turboshaft engines allowed it to reach the speed of more than 300 kph. As the Sturm anti-tank missile system was being developed, the new heli inherited its armaments from the Mi-4. Phalange ATGMs, S-5K rockets, 2 types of bombs, and a 12.7mm A-12.7 machine gun mounted in the rotating nose turret. There was nothing new in there, but this arsenal provided quite a lot of firepower from the get-go. You couldn't look at this heavily armored and heavily armed flying fortress and not feel a little awe. But there's still room for improvement. The next variation, the Mi-24D, introduced a new tandem cockpit configuration with a double-bubble canopy. The change wasn't just about giving the crew a larger field of view. Starting with this model, both the pilot and the weapon systems operator were protected by 55mm of armored glass. During the Soviet-Afghan War, this model was also fitted with Lipa optronic countermeasure systems to give it protection against surface-to-air missiles. At the same time, due to the fact that the new weapon systems were still in the works, the D variant was armed in pretty much the same fashion as the previous model, only getting new unguided rockets and a new Yak-B machine gun with a higher fire rate. By the way, the Mi-24D was the model that earned the helicopter one of its nicknames, Crocodile, due to the helicopter's iconic profile and the camouflage scheme. Crocodile was widely exported throughout the Eastern Bloc. That's why, for example, there's a premium Mi-24D flying the colors of the Czechoslovak Air Force in the game. In 1976, the Mi-24D was succeeded by the Mi-24V, a new model modified to carry more modern armaments, including Sturm supersonic ATGMs, R-60 air-to-air missiles, R-60M air-to-air missiles, and extremely powerful S-8 KO rockets. Furthermore, the heli was equipped with an exhaust IR suppressor. Then we have the Mi-24P, a model upgunned with the twin-barrel 30mm G-32K autocannon. With a ground target's belt, this gun could pierce up to 60mm of armor at 100 meters, making the helicopter a serious threat to any light armored vehicles. The autocannon was so powerful, in fact, that it was considered overkill for a lot of combat situations that the new helicopter was built for. So the later variations were equipped with a more modest 23mm G-23. By the way, the Mi-24P can be found in the German tech tree as well, as a regular and a premium attack helicopter in the service of the GDR armed forces. The Soviet Union is long gone, but the Mi-24 is still in service in more than a dozen countries, including the Russian Federation. Say hi to the Mi-35M, one of the most heavily modified models of the series, only recently becoming available in large numbers. Almost every component of the vehicle underwent specific improvements. It was equipped with a couple of powerful Klimov VK2500 turboshaft aero engines, modified to carry Attacker ATGMs and Igla SAMs, fitted with a new target sight system including a thermal imager. The list goes on and on. All of that made the Mi-35M a very effective modern combat helicopter. Flying tanks proved their worth in countless battles. With their speed and firepower, they are very good at destroying things. And air mobile units make good use of their transport capabilities. What is your favorite Mi-24? An old model? Or the latest? Maybe a modern export version? Feel free to tell us, please, in the comments below.